Swing by Blizzard H. Wolf. A sad, heartwarming tale. Narrated by Grape.
And side effects of magnesium.
Chapter 1. Wow, my dad is doing it again. Could he ever be sad that mom died? Complaining, saying things like, mom said, or mom did. It's been 6 months since mom died, and even before she passed away, they have been fighting, or at least complain about each other behind their backs. Mom told my sister, Lila and I, that she had stress and would die young, and she was 50. I don't know if that is too young, but at least she wasn't like 30.
Get to bed! Get to bed!
He yelled, interrupting my thoughts. Everyone thinks their life is hard. Like at school, my friend, Matt, thinks our classmate Adam is annoying. And he says it's his life problems. So right, like it is. You don't have parents fighting even after they're dead. Erg! Even the book Wish has a better life. At least she can stay with her nice aunt and uncle, and unlike me, she will definitely have a happy ending. Well, my sister's happy. She loves it when our parents fight. She can do her own thing, saying that she'll do it the Lily way, which is basically her own way, or older sister. She's my older sister, or role model. For someone who has an imaginary boyfriend in 5th grade, well, now she's in 7th grade, what a good role model. To be honest, I trust the seagulls more than my own family. There are many seagulls in my school, and when friends betrayed me for dumb reasons, like they cared about their kickball game more than me, the seagulls somehow knew that I was sad and would circle around me. Well, I think they were. I sat up in bed, stared at the calendar attached to the white wall. It's Uncle Luke's birthday, I whispered out loud. My uncle's birthday was the day before my birthday. His was on May 31st and mine was on June 1st. Yay, my birthday, I thought. The day that I wish for a dog that I'll never get, or at least a pet. I don't care which animal. Or I wish that I never existed. That way I wouldn't have to feel all this sadness, fury, depression, anxiety, pain. Pain was the best word to describe how I was feeling. I didn't have to lie since I got physically hurt anyway. Well, another school day. I could take my time because I wake up at 6 a.m. or 6:30 a.m. It was how I avoided people. Not having to share the bathroom or be in the kitchen with someone. I'd be already in the car at 7:15 a.m. and catch up on my sleep by reclining my seat and sleep in the car. On the drive, Dad would just ask if we finished our homework, and I'd mumble, yeah. He should ask us that night so that we'd have time to finish if we didn't finish, but he doesn't think because he's dumb. The rest of the car drive would be silent. And on a holiday, in the morning, in the car or not, Dad or I would mumble, happy. Lila always said, be happy because she felt no pain, just like my classmate Irene. They were literally robots. Every time Irene would be perfect, I would think, Goddess Irene. The world seems to always go against me. Even though Dad stopped taking us to church, I still trusted God. I don't know if Lila still did though. Then, I finally kicked off the blanket, made my bed, and got ready. Beep. My eyes shot open. That was my alarm. When Dad was coming, he would open the trunk with the key that could be used from a distance to put his bag in, and it always beeped very loudly.
Hurry up, Lila! Hurry up! It's time for school! Hurry up, Lila!
There goes his first sentence of the day. Everyone was always predictable. Dad could never be proud of me, and always complained about Mom. And she's literally dead. Lila was the perfect child, and she always pleased Dad. But waking up early and sleeping in the car was our morning every weekday. However, I wasn't really predictable. I had anger issues when Mom was around. I'd blow up, like yell so loud your ears would literally hurt for a week, and I would have a really hoarse voice for a month. But now, not talking was the easiest. But I couldn't ignore them or I would be considered rude. Even though I was really sensitive. I'd hold back tears starting from the morning and get home and cry in bed. School was boring, basically. The only friends I had were Matt and Louise. They would just talk and I would listen. They didn't even know I was there. Matt was a lot like Jaden, a used-to-be friend. He would wear hoodies and let me hang out with them, which really means to sit there while they acted like you never existed. And when you told them sad stories, they would always get interrupted by a stupid side game and end with them saying, sad. And they even don't care. And now I doubt Jaden even knows who I am. Well, one of the good things is that Dad is busy, so I am allowed to walk home in elementary school by myself. Mom would say, in middle school, you can walk home. Well, it's May 31st, and I'm in 5th grade, and I am the most mature student in class, in my opinion anyway. I walked past the playground. I stopped. My heart pounded. Tears ran down my cheeks while I took off my mask. A mask that you wear during a pandemic that covers our nose and mouth. I wore it because I didn't trust anyone. That was my number one rule. The playground was empty, and the breeze, another one of those stupid fake friends that I have, like the seagulls, don't think that I am any better than the other dumb school people, made the swing swing. I wiped my tears and shook my head. I can't think about this. I was born in Louisiana, then we moved to California when I was 3. I was too young to understand my parents were fighting. I was dumb enough to think that they were just talking loud. Every time they fought, my mom would take me and Lila to this playground, away from Dad. We would go on the swing and Mom would push us the whole time. Then when she gave us the 5-minute warning, Lila and I would play tag or just run crazy on the field. Then, when I was old enough to understand that our parents were fighting, at night when we went to bed, Lila and I shared the same room, and they started fighting, I would cry. Then Lila would tell me to come over to her bed, and she would tell me that God is with us, and she would sing a lullaby to me. She had an amazing voice, but I could never sing. I was terrible at singing. Then, after the song was over and I started to fall asleep, I would always hear her cry and I'd hug her because she's the only person who understood me, and we'd take care of each other. But now, she's happy when her parents fight, and thinks our dad is right. I don't fully agree with Mom, but she was a better person than Dad. I know I'm supposed to be sad that Mom died, but even she wasn't really a good person.
Chapter 2.
I stared at the playground, specifically the swing, where we spent most of our time when my parents fought. I closed my eyes, breathed in the fresh cool air, and vague pictures started forming. I remembered sometimes when Mom would cry or yell on the phone and couldn't push us on the swing, Lila would push me on. I'd call for Mom and Lila would jump off the swing saying, "It's okay, I'll push you, Leilani." Then I'd reply, "Thank you." Then I said something that I would always say, "Higher, so high I can touch the sky." That's what I always said, even the first time I ever got on a swing. Then I remembered that I could never push myself. I'd use my legs and force. Then I tried to be gentle. It never worked, but I was fine with that because I had an amazing sister to push me. But when I was in 3rd grade, she changed with that one sentence that I will remember forever. I love it when our parents fight. That means I can do whatever I want. And besides, I'll do it the Lily way. Then I spun around and ran to my room to cry. I opened my eyes and my vision was blurry. I wiped away the stupid tears and took out my iPad and headphones. I hope it helps, I thought as I scrolled through my playlist and put a loop on Reflection by Hey Violet. Hey Violet songs made some great songs, but some had bad words in it, so I stuck to the safe ones. I sighed and left the playground, walking up the hill. When I got home, I looked at the time. "Erg!" I yelled/growled. Lila would come home soon. I spent too much time crying at the playground. I usually had the whole house to myself for at least half an hour. Lila took forever to walk up this hill school. I went on a jog with her because she wanted to and Dad made me. So much for a jog. Lila would never be considerate. She never knocked. When we used to share a room and I slept first, she would turn on the light, and when Mom was there, she would act innocent and say, "Oops." But when she got a flashlight, she would shine it in my face. I would yell at her, but now that I think about it, I should have gone harder. But now that she is Daddy's favorite, if I yelled at her, I'd get in trouble. When Mom was here, she would make sure there were no favorites that would just make things unfair, and I agreed. But now with Dad, all I can say is that I hate it here. With Mom, it was horrible, but with Dad, it's just torture. I went to my room and locked the door. When I finished my homework, I read one of my favorite books, Wish. I love this book. but none of the books that are this good have a girl that wants a dog or a pet. All of my favorite books, Wish, Because of Winn-Dixie, and A Dog's Purpose, have dogs or pets. When I finished rereading my book, I went to the kitchen. Even though it was Lila's turn to get dinner, she was playing video games in her room after I had to yell at her to leave me alone while I was reading. Dad wasn't home. I looked in the fridge and took out some leftovers, put some on a plate, and warmed up my share. I always ate before anyone else, another way to avoid people.